beautiful people. It is 2023 amazingness, and yeah, I have never, okay, now we have to have lots of love. We have to have lots of love because I was petting one, now I have to pet the other. Never worn these glasses on. Can you see? Can you see? Do you see a theme running maybe at my thumbnails? I love color. I love black and white. Black and white's always been my thing, even as a professional photographer. I love red, but I love black and white and other colors. I love just like splash, pop color, whatever it is. I'm just being more expressive. I've been traveling with these glasses, I think, for over a year now, and I've never worn them on camera. So, anywho, welcome, welcome, welcome. It is a new year, a new day. This is the third time. I've got 2 other readings that were just sad and bastardly. Yeah, if you are under the age of 18, click off. This is not your reading. And I do occasionally curse on here, although I'm trying to take the profanity down at least, you know. Especially this channel, it's kind of okay. Over at the Intuitive Professionals Nook, shameless plug, I'm going to be trying to keep, so, and it's kind of like all over, like, anyways, that being said, so y'all are being ridiculous, and I love it. It was just raining a little bit ago. It is like 74 degrees. It's actually starting to get even warm out here. But yeah, I've tried to do this reading twice. It's not this particular one though. I was called to do another one. It's another just gossip tea. And they just turned out just sad. It was just sad. I was like, I can't put this out there. It just didn't feel good. Diego, hey, chill out. So we are staying at a dog rescue. Well, non-profit, like full on, like, yeah, like dog rescue. So we got a 3-legged one that's chasing around the 4-legged one, although the 4-legged one has found out that if she body slams the 3-legged one, will, hey, and then we got the old lady and the old man, like all grayed out in the corner that are just like, what are you kids doing? Okay, we're at 2.5 minutes. We can keep it down to 3. So, housekeeping really quickly. If you're interested in personal reads, I am keeping the introductory price ones up on Fiverr, and then it jumps to basically the couple reads, which is just going down the investigative route. I also, if you're interested in resume optimization, interview prep, sorry, it's just going to be loud noises so that I can like talk freely today. I don't want to bother anybody. That being said, you can just check out all of my gigs on Fiverr. More will be popping up soon. Also, what will we be having? We'll be having merch. What? Merch. I did just wanted to say merch and feel cool, like the youngins. Just had a birthday, turned 43. I'm very excited about it, and I just realized, anyways, aesthetics. I'm kind of in that mode. So I've been called to like go old school. If you've been with me, old school, can I speak? No, I can't because it's Mercury retrograde. These guys, right? These guys. Who says she doesn't have a leg? Right? This is ridiculous. So that being said, as the camera goes, I wasn't even sure if I could do this out here because of old tripod over here. Sometimes doesn't know where she's gonna fall, like correctly or like how or anything like that. But yeah, I can't even imagine her with 4. Okay, back to the reading. So this is Why Are You the Mofo Goat? The goat, I didn't even know what the goat was until I started working at this club, and they were like, the goat, she's the goat. And I was like, what's the goat? And they're like, the greatest of all time. And I was like, that's amazing. And then I just felt like making a goat thumbnail for 2023. No, I actually do have a system. Also, if you're, well, I'll do the shameless plugs on the other channel for that particular service. That being said, can I put my tea down, ladies and gentlemen? So awesome. Awesome though that I'm like not taking care of them. I've had animals my entire adult life except for the past 5, and I was so like, but it is it's kind of amazing. All right, we're at the 5-minute mark. Are we done? Energy is in and around you. If you don't feel like this pertains to you, like the story doesn't pertain to you, but it sounds really familiar, if you switch it up, switch it up. Energy is energy. Also, when we're talking about masculine and feminine, energies. It doesn't matter what you've got going on down there, whether you have nothing, or a sword, or a chalice, or anything along those lines, or a nub. I don't care. It's the energy that you're holding at the particular time. Right now, I show up as a masculine in all of my reads, except for like when I'm doing this. Can we have any more interruptions? Probably not. We'll go ahead and take this moment to spray you. You've been with me, it's like my moon juice, solstice juice, like it's the magic love in a wig spray bottle. Yes. In the ghetto. All right. So yeah, okay. Oh, okay. Going back to the, like, they're like, just bypass what you were about to say. Back in the day when I was traveling, before I did the first Airbnb gig here in San Antonio. Let me say here in Texas. I was using a lot was going on. Like if you have any Capricorn placements, a lot has been going on. Like the past 4 years, things are finally starting to like calm down, except for like, I don't know, this retrograde in Capricorn, but I don't know. I just kind of take retrogrades, and retrogrades aren't bad. They're just an opportunity. They're just an opportunity. It depends on how you harness the energy. And that's what we're going to be talking about, shameless plug, over at the other channel. So I was using the shamanic deck for a long time, and like regularly, and the angels and ancestors, I was doing 9 card spreads. There was a lot coming through. We were working through a lot of stuff. And then I was just kind of guided to go down the pick a card route, and here we are at pick a cards. If you're still watching, that's wonderful. If not, obviously you've like jumped to the timestamps, and that's amazing as well, because I have a very short attention span, probably less than the 8-second goldfish. But that being said, I can appreciate when just people have like chapters. My last one, I like copied and pasted and forgot to put the timestamps in, and I was like, oh my gosh, that was my karma for like bitching about somebody not having their timestamps up. And I was like, I put the wrong ones up. How annoying is that? So, why are you the goat? Oh, that's delicious. I think these guys are like vying for the goat. Here we go. 9 card spread. We're starting with the shamanic deck. Colette Baron Reed and a guy that starts with the letter A. Or I don't know the person of that deck, so I guess it doesn't really matter. And then I have this beautiful, because I was told only to do these 2, and of course, you know, I want to break out, like, let's make this 7-pile spread with the this, that, and the other, whatever, and it's like, no, do it on camera. I have a beautifully gifted, I can't even remember the last time I got lovely gifts, of a Rider-Waite deck. I don't know the name of it, because I know it is a straight up Rider-Waite, but, yeah. Serpent on the bottom here. So what makes you the greatest of all time? Again, repeating myself. 9 card spread. Here we go. Pile 1. We're going to be doing past, present, and future. Am I doing these in reverse? Yes. Okay. I'll show you all these cards as we go through them. It's taking enough time. I'm like, it's taking enough to. There's a serpent card in reverse. Excuse me. Oh, this is going to be a big read. It wants to come out together. We're taking it together. Okay. Okay. It's a big read. I'm like, this. Okay, we're going to go fast, though. We are going to go fast. Like, this is the challenge. All right. Woo! All right. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. And I'm already heating up. I'm like, ooh, time to be sexy. No, it's just like almost 80 degrees and really, really humid. Hence the curly hair. Oh, y'all sharing the branch. I love that. Okay, here we go. So, I mean, first card is the strongest of all. So why are you the goat? It's your emotional IQ. First off. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, now we go. Now we step into it. Got it. Because I'm like, this is so much if we're going into whatever, but like, yeah. Okay, we're just gonna roll. We're blowing through this really quickly. You are emotionally intelligent. You walk into the room and you see the whole room. You see where people are at. If they're in a dark space, you see if they're in a high vibrational space. You see people where you're like, I should probably, that looks like a hurricane in the middle of the Gulf. I'm gonna stay away from that. Yeah, you're and you know, you're able to read the room, but like people have no idea like what emotional IQ like does to a person. I don't care about your degrees. If like you are a molecular restructurist, with a degree in rocket science and I don't know, all of the other stuff and crypto, I don't care. If you can't like emotionally navigate the room, you're pretty much, okay, I'm not going to say that. Oh, that's bad. Yeah, no, I also, okay. I feel like you're coming from a very judgmental place. I feel like you used to be really, really judgmental because something almost came out of my mouth that felt like actually very familiar. I can have a very cutting, because I had a very cutting mother and a very like cutting family and a very cutting everything exes, right? So like I can get very comfortable in that. Yeah, so I definitely feel like this is learned. I don't feel like this is something you grew up with. I feel like this is something that you have put a lot of effort into. And so a lot of people may not really like understand. I don't feel like you like just go from the mountaintops and saying like, you walk in the room and I know how you feel. I think you just let people play things out. Yeah, no, you've definitely developed patience and you're very clear. Yeah, because we have the ghost dance here in reverse, which is confusion. Like in the front, it's like, hun, I don't know what's going on. There's a lot of smoke in front of me. There's a lot of moving parts and everything like that. You see things very clearly. Why? Because you tap into emotions. You might have been very like logically based in the past. Yeah, I definitely feel somebody that's just like, this is the way it is, and this is very black and white. And then you decided to like, you may not have like a lot of water in your chart. Here comes another plane. I can resonate with this because this is something I had to build. Like now I come up in readings, go get them. As like sometimes like a Queen of Cups, and I'm like, there isn't a drop of water in my chart except for like one little like missed the Scorpio. It's a learned trait. I had to learn how to like shut up and listen, and just because I felt what people were feeling didn't mean that I wasn't like running them over with trying to be a know-it-all and everything like that. So yeah, there's this self-awareness. And then here in your future energy, and when we're looking at a 9-card spread, even though we're like past, present, and future, we've got 9 rows, or excuse me, 3 rows, 9 cards, but you can read them like diagonally. Like they will show themselves to you in like a very like kind of free-flowing like puzzle type of, anyways, just again for my people, my readers that are watching me, that like I just kind of, whenever I come across another reader and they just, I always learn something from other people, and that's what we're here to do, right, is to teach and to learn. And when we teach something to other people, yeah, no, I feel like you're very comfortable, and like I don't feel like you're a gatekeeper of knowledge. I feel that you're very open, like this is how I did it, and this is how, you know, there's a lot of people, especially like in, you know, the field that I'm in right now. Well, I'm in a lot of fields, but like on the 3D level, what I do for like making the majority of my money right now would be as an exotic dancer, and it's very it's a very materialistic based business, and like based on like looks and presentation and who you know and how to like hustle and all this other stuff, and like it's just these things that I never like took to or was really kind of exposed to like in this capacity. And even though I've learned those lessons, it's just not something that like super resonates with me. And I feel like you are definitely a person, what makes you the GOAT is that you have, because we've got the middle world, and the middle world represents Earth. It represents like the earthly things. It represents the money, the trappings, the keeping up with the Joneses, the like all of the things. And I think that you've learned, especially with me, like I used to make I can't even imagine how much money I used to make compared to like what I do now. And I am my happiest. And I know that sounds like so cliche, but I cannot tell you, like my inner wealth far exceeds my outer wealth, because the inner wealth helps the outer, the outer, and the outer wealth is starting to come in, but it was like it had to come from a different place. I had to manifest it from a different place. Before it was out of fight, flight, freeze, all of these things, and now it's out of like, it's not a matter of deserving, it's a matter of just an abundance mindset. And I can't, I hate the buzzwords, I hate the buzzwords, and that's probably what is also like makes you like the greatest of all time, really, like when people really think about it, is that I feel like you just don't walk around with airs, and especially in the future, I feel like you've got a lot of good things ahead of you, and I think people are really going to appreciate the fact that you still remain humble, right? You're still going to like treat the whoever it is, the waiter, the whatever, doesn't matter what restaurant or what the end check is going to be, you're still going to treat people the way that you're going to treat people. And I think that's really like, you know, say like, why are you the greatest of all time? It's really like, why are you the greatest? Why are you the main character in your own life, right? You can say what it is to other people, but this is a gas you up. This is just a gas you up reading with under the guise of goats. Yeah, I give you my best bat. All right, let's blow through this. Now it's going fast. Yeah, okay. Also in the past, I feel like you might be a person. These are, okay, I think we're doing 5 piles. I think a really big deal about you here is, again, energy that I can definitely resonate with is like, I think you've kind of held off. Oh no, no eating of the jacket, sirs and ladies. Oh my gosh, they will eat everything. Everything. I found the little one in my wig the other day. Okay, so yeah, no, I feel like you've kind of gone off of the path of dating or getting like at least really close with anybody. Like you might be having your needs met, your needs met, whatever it is. We're grown-ass adults here, right? Because if you're not, you shouldn't be watching this. But I definitely feel like you just haven't involved. I feel like you've been able to establish this, to become this goat, because you haven't let anybody in your energy, or at least close enough to screw your energy up, or not like having anybody close enough where like you have to, like, I think that's a dead possum, close enough where they can, like, their opinion can give any like warrant or blessing or whatever it is. I feel like you're not close enough to people at this point in time, and well, I say at this point in time and before, I feel like you put boundaries up, not only with lovers, but like this is enmeshments, this is family, this is friends. These are people that feel like they have some entitlement of like an opinion of what you do. Now, I understand if like you like live together and they're like, I don't know if that's a great idea because like you pay half the bills and that might be, you know what I mean? I'm talking about people that like literally they don't pay your bills. They have nothing other to do than just like judge your life. And I feel like you decided like to eliminate a lot of those people. We got the seer and the owl. Look at this juxtaposition. This is like, yeah, okay, now we got it. With the boom, okay, with the Pachamama on the back end here, this is kind of like, this is the present moment. You walked away from people, you put up boundaries. Didn't matter if they were family, friends, lovers, what have you. You were like, are you treating me right? Are you coming at me correct? Because we can say, are you coming at me correct? And it sounds like this really egotistical, but what I'm saying, are you coming at me sideways? What are your intentions when you're asking me questions? When you show up out of nowhere and you this, that, you there, you're like, you're just telling me blatant lies. Like, what, who do you think I am? Right? People like, they still don't think that you can see anything, and they can't see anything, and you're the seer. We had the seer and the owl. These are two, and we're like, we established earlier that you've been very clear, but I think people, I think people think they're smoother than what they are. There's this tea she has here. It's called Smooth Move. And that's what I'm getting. Like, I feel like people can like, oh yeah, you think you're psychic? Let me show you my manipulation skills. And you're like, I feel like I'm about to get like molested by a used car salesman. I feel your energy when you walked into the room, and now you're like deciding that you're going to try and pull the wool over my eyes. Okay, I am the seer. By the way, if we were to go seer and owl, and I got an owl on my, like, owl is a totem, like, but you got the owl versus like the seer shamanic with a blow dart, right? It's because the owl runs on sonar. This is a person that has the ability to see, that like feels very empathic, and I feel like they're probably aptly manipulative, right? Because they are empathic. Like, you know, people don't realize that like narcissists are just empaths gone wrong, right? They just went too far down the path because of probably a lot of past trauma that they are not able to process, and so we know because, anyways, that being said, you know, it's two sides of one coin, but you know, this is one going on their animal instincts, but their animal instincts are not giving them the right instincts, right? Because they're not manifesting or coming from or forming thoughts from the right place. And then you have this one that's like practiced, that's warrior, that's been stripped down to nothing, that has had discipline, has been taught the ways of the, you know what I mean? And like uses all those, like this is like a magician in the spiritual world. And so I feel like, first of all, it's not a matchup, which is, I mean, you know, nice, but it can be isolating and lonely for anybody that's out there, because we have the Pachamama, you can see so much, and if you just look, and I'm like, can you see it'll take too much. This is like the Pachamama is facing inwards, and then you got the Serpentine over here, and it's like, I see everything that's going on. You're seeing this part of my face, and this is all the information I'm getting. Your claircognizance might be coming on really, really strong. What is claircognizance for the people that are new here? Oh, that's a good smooth move there. Is, yes, poop, random poop insert? Yes, it is. cognizance is just knowing something. Just like knowing, like I knew when people like cheated on me. I knew how and who it was with, but I couldn't. Then I had to like start like looking for it because I was like, I'm a crazy person. I didn't know that I was just getting packets of information. I feel, and a lot of people don't realize that they are claircognizant because they're like, this has been happening my entire life. Oh, when you meet somebody, and like, we just got a flash there. When you meet somebody and shake their hand, you don't get like a whole download of like what their life is and who their parents were and who hates them in their life and what they can't stand about themselves. Like, you don't get that information. Yeah, I feel like, cause, I mean, I can't even, like, we've got the moon, there's so much going on down here, but this one's just like, yeah, I feel like you right now, especially, I mean, going through the past, like, 8 months, hardcore, I don't care what sign you are, hardcore changes, hardcore eclipse seasons, hardcore just reverse engineering by the universe in, like, a very kind of screwed up way. And, you know, then we're also dealing with those karmic cycles, that, you know, things that we've incurred on ourselves. That's, like, all wrapped up in, like, what was going to happen to us in the first place. Like, you know what I mean? Like, my first Mars retrograde was in Taurus, like, 2 years ago. I had no idea what, like, energy was, or harnessing energy, or, like, how something like that could affect me. Oh, my gosh. This, I'm not going to lie, like, this retrograde in Gemini is a cakewalk compared to that Mars, and it's kind of been brutal, I'm not gonna lie. Have I said that like 8 times? I think so. Moving right along. So yeah, you're getting a lot of downloads, you're getting a lot of information, you are, and I feel like, okay, I'm also getting like very, very fast spiritual awakening. What's a spiritual awakening? You might not have been eating, you might feel like you've had like COVID for like 2 months. I'm not, why do I keep saying I'm not gonna lie? There's somebody here that's watching me that says like this all the time, because I think I've said this like once in the past year, and I've said it like 8 times in the past 5 minutes. I feel like a lot of people have gone through, because you know, you go through eclipse, and then all of a sudden it's like pushing you into dark night of the soul, and you realize that the people or the job or the location or whatever is around you is not working, because we just went through all of these retrogrades. Like, it's all this retrograde energy like lifting up, and you know, a lot of the collective that isn't used to like towers and changes. You know, I love there's this one reader, she's like, Scorpios eat towers for breakfast. And it's kind of true. Like, if you have not been able to, if you haven't gone through like a shit ton of towers, what is that? Like shit breaking down, like something had a bad foundation. And then letting that foundation crumble, and then like picking up the pieces and like being able to like move forward. I am well versed in tower energy, and I didn't realize, like, you know, I was like, why is my life like, for like years and years in a row, but the collective, you know, I'm here just like other readers, we're here, and you're like, how do you know this? There's these young readers, they're like 19 years old, that are like saying things that are like speaking to my heart and putting me in tears and like humbleness, and like, oh my gosh, where did that come from? Like, out of the babe's mouth, or out of the mouth of babes, right? Oh, you sweet girl, you can't sit on my foot because I know you're trying to dominate me. Yeah, and I definitely feel like there's this energy of, I feel like people are just like, there's a lot of stuff that I don't know. This is the spiritual awakening. This is like, there's a whole other side to life that I had no idea, and it's real, right? Because we're taught in organized religion that, you know, to be afraid of these things. Why should we be afraid of? There are reasons why you should be afraid, because like, I don't hang out with psychics. Why? Because psychics can be scary. I'm not gonna lie. 9th time. In one pile. Let's see if that continues with the next pile. Ooh, take that as a big old fat ding right there. And like, wrap it up, wrap it up, wrap it up. You got the moon energy and the spiral. I also feel like you have learned how to get out of negative thought patterns and cycles. Being afraid, because like the moon is all about like these cycles, and it's like, I'm getting like a lot of anxiety here, like, and what about this, and what about that? It's like always like, I definitely have this energy with me, with a lot of Virgo placements, like a stellium of like OCD, basically the energy or the planet of OCD, and it's like worrying about and then planning for and then making sure. But when you're putting all that energy into it, it means you're manifesting it, right? Like, our thoughts become things. And so we've got the spiral energy, and I feel like you have stopped yourself from going down like negative spirals. Why are you the goat? Because you are changing your neuroplasticity. You are consciously, I don't feel like this is just something, I feel like you have put a lot of intention into healing yourself, and I feel like it's working, and I feel like it's been working, and I feel like you should continue with it. Okay, and we have here, we have the magic and the witness. Okay, and I don't even know like which one was the middle. I guess it must have been this, the middle in reverse. Yeah, not going down the spiral. We've got more puppies, so it's going to be loud. It is what it is. We're not redoing this for a third time. We have the magic card here, and we have the magic with the witness in reverse. You know what's going to happen? Why are you a goat? Because you're putting your head to the grindstone. You are saying, I'm not going to look at anybody else. I don't need to look at anything outside of me. Look at how this message does not want to be given to you. We're just going to wait. We got a little time. All of the interruptions. Why? Because you're the magic. Take that as confirmation. Because people around you, the people that are giving you the hardest time, the people that you're setting boundaries with and that are respecting those boundaries, you said, you know what? I am the magic. I don't need that outside validation. I don't need your opinion. I don't need to even let you know when I'm going. You're starting to move in silence, goat. And you're putting, yeah, you're turning up the social media unless like you're posting on social media. I feel like you are focused beyond focused. And that's what makes you, because that's what's going, when you don't let those outside influences, when you say, you know what, I understand, like, I understand where you're coming from. I learned that, like, from, like, I don't even feel like we have to get, like, they said one, okay, we're going to get one, we will get one advice card. I'm like, let's move it along. We got 4 more piles. Yeah, no, I feel like you're in a really good energy here. It feels really good. It feels, again, there's that clarity. There's a lot of smoke, and I feel like you've just like done snip, snip, snip to everybody around you. We've got new puppies coming in. And the moon, as we take the moon again, another moon card. Take note of intuitive messages. I feel like you're already doing this. But this is on the other side. Before you're like, it was like wrapped up in anxiety, and here I feel like you're just in receiving. Instead of being that fight, flight, masculine energy, like I gotta go out and kill it and all this other stuff, you know what I mean? I gotta like, you know, take it and hunt it. I feel like now you're like going in the moon, the mother, that Cancerian, like receptive energy here. Take note of intuitive messages. It's beautiful. So there's more coming in for you. Okay? All right. We'll see you later, pile 2. Let's go, or pile 2, okay, so pile 1, you might want to watch pile 2, but we're going to pile 2, so let's get into it. We're going to do a couple of shuffles. Again, it's going to be a noisy time. It is what it is. Oh, we got puppies wanting to go in, because we got other puppies, new puppies. So, please excuse. Try not to stitch this. It takes a long time to stitch. I cannot. It's actually ridiculous how long it takes to stitch a video, even just like with a regular old iMovie. Alright, pile number 2. Here we go. I think pile number 1 was good. I feel like it's kind of like Alice Love Exhibitions if you haven't watched her. Her pile number 1 is kind of like this jumping off point for the rest of the pile. So we're going to try and like get this going really fast. Okay, pile number 2. Little spray for you, for me. Pile number 2, what makes you the goat? Why do I want to put these down all of a sudden? Do you like surprises, pile number 2? That's funny. I feel like there was like, okay, I'm getting marshmallow test. I feel like you are the pile that is willing to let things wait and percolate. Marshmallow test with little kids is if you go, and I might be butchering this, but if you go, there's a marshmallow in there and you can eat it, but if you leave it alone, you get to have like 7 more or something like that. And it shows like to like 80% degree or whatever, like children's dispositions and whether they're going to be like really impulsive, or if they're going to go for the instant gratification, or they're willing to wait and everything like that. Just look it up. Like I said, I feel like I'm butchering the times and the ages and everything like that. Oh yeah, definitely getting a person that just like beats to their own drum, drums to their own beat. All of that sound. Oh my goodness. Wow. 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 Okay, this is a really, I'm like getting the chills. Holy shnikes. Wow. Woo! This makes me want to dance. I feel like I'm at a festival now. Yeah, I'm getting like some like Sagittarius. I mean, fire. Yeah, Sagittarius. But it's in reverse. I love this. Okay, there's a lot of control. There's a lot of... Take this just as a nice little break. This is the person that has just said, you know what? Screw you and whatever you think, the Earth Keeper. This is a person that, this reminds me of a pile. What, oh my gosh, what reading was this? It might be on the Intuitive Professionals Nook, another shameless plug. But it might be this is the escape artist. This is the escape. I've gotten this in this reading before where it was just like, and I feel like you've done this a while ago. I hate the word the black sheep, but I definitely feel like you're the person that just like might have been the first to come out of many closets, spiritual or sexual or kink or something like that. I definitely feel like this is an energy that like from a long time ago, like out the gate, out the womb, out the hoo-ha, that was like, y'all weren't for me. You're not my family. And they're like, you're not. And then we have this, yeah, we're gonna move, yeah, I can feel this fast, because we got the staff here. So Earth Keeper in reverse. But look at this energy. It's all this like, it's like all, I feel like even people, you might have grown up in a place that was just like, you're not supposed to wear, and you're like, screw you, I'm gonna wear like dark lipstick, and I don't know. I'm just getting like a Seven of Swords, Aquarius, like middle finger to everybody. Like you can suck it from a very like short age or young age. As long as you can remember, as long as like maybe start listening to music too, you might really like be into music, because there's this staff here. This staff is like bringing things, manifestations into. I feel like you're a person like, if I want it, I'm gonna go after it. I don't know, I don't care what it is. I don't know, I may not know anything about this, but I can look it up. I can get the information. I can get the downloads. I don't feel like this intuitively. I feel like this is a scrapper. I feel like this is a person that's like, oh yeah, you said I can't do this? Well, I'm gonna go get 3 jobs and I'm gonna put myself through law school and I'm gonna this, that, and the other. This is a person that like makes things happen. I feel like this universe like giving me just like small breaks to like slow down. That's what we're gonna take it as, right? Everybody's like, not everything, some things are just a coincidence. And I'm like, not when you get in my field. Especially my field of vision. Ha 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 ha. Hello, puppy. I can't, I'm slightly allergic to her saliva. But I can give her elbow rubs. So staff, yeah, you bring things in, and when I say bring things in, look at this. We've got the gatherer. You're like, I'm gonna do my own thing. If I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. You're well, you may not be a person of your word, but I actually feel like you do. I feel like you have a lot of self-integrity. I feel like definitely this is something that I resonate with, is like leaving things, places, environments, jobs, people, like better than when you found them. I feel not only do you make things happen, but you do things when you like put yourself into it. Like I'm getting like, you know, nose to the grindstone, like the Roser the Rudy, Rosie the Rooter, you know what I mean? Like the we can do it, Rosie the, I can't think of her name, Riveter. But it's just like this, you roll up your sleeves, you put the elbow grease in, you do the right, you don't just like half-ass it. I feel like whenever you do something, like it comes to fruition. Like you plant the seeds and shit comes up. You got pumpkins grown out of your head here, right? And birds and feathers and messages. I feel like you're a person that like really knows a lot of people. Like your resources, maybe on the outside, may not look like you have a lot. But it's your resources. It's the inner wealth of the people that you know, and the connections that you have, and the connection you have with the universe, and this symbiotic, like, back and forth, tete-a-tete with nature. I feel like the universe, like you're really, really in play. And if this isn't happening, this is what's about to happen, because this isn't your future energy, but I'm like, I can feel it. Like Wendy, I mean, she's almost overripe. These pumpkins are almost like, cut me open and slice me up, because like, I'm almost too ripe. Right? You've got a lot coming to you, and I think it's going to come to you really, really quickly, and I feel like it's going to be really surprising. Why are you the goat? Because you know how to nurture things. You know how to make things grow. You know how to put things into action and execute, and then like have it happen, and have the universe, the supporting cast of the universe, just make it all happen for you as well, because we have the heart of the sky. I'm also getting a child that maybe had like a really hard, and maybe it wasn't so hard, but I'm getting like a lot of disassociativeness. like the dreamer, like Piscean energy, right? This is like, I don't belong here, you know, maybe like, you know, coming from a house like, you know, rageful, manipulative people, you know, where it's like you got lost into something, got lost into art, got lost in the books, got lost into school, got lost into like being lost, whatever it is, but you were a dreamer. Like you I don't think you, I feel like you just tapped out a lot when you were younger. I feel like there were a lot of things, you might have been getting a lot of downloads, a lot of dreams, a lot of things that you didn't even know that you were getting. Again, those packets of information, but this is more of like that daydreaming, like I wonder if I wonder, and I mean, obviously you've been doing it, but we have this fire here, and I feel like there's this part, okay, okay, this is where we're at, this is the center of the read, this is like where we're at, it's like okay, I feel like a lot of you feel like your fire has been lost, like you have lost your fire, because when I first saw this, I was like, oh, this is someone tempering their fire. I feel like this is a person that's like, what happened to me? But you still have this staff. I feel like you put so many things into the vortex, if you will, the vibrational vortex, that you're just tired. Like, I think you just went through a lot of crap during, like, the past year. You're probably watching this because it's 2023, so it would have to be. But I'm like, this is a timeless read, and whenever you see this, I just feel like you're like, where did it go? And I'm like, I feel like you're just tired. I feel like you put all of this work, there's all this energy that I've been going in, and I feel like you just like, where is the growth? Where are these pumpkins you speak of? But have you ever, anybody's had a garden, and you're like, you're waiting, you get the first sprouts, and you start seeing the whatever, and then you're like, okay, they're growing, we're watering it, everything like that, and like all of a sudden you like go to the back corner of the garden, and you like move a leaf, and there's like a gigantor pumpkin or zucchini or whatever, and you're like, how in the hell did that happen? That's what I feel is like right where I feel like you're in the, where is everything? Where is the growth? Where is the, like, I don't see anything, and everything is like pushing itself up out of that. Yeah, because you're going to be clear. You're going to have clarity here. We've got the medicine wheel in reverse. Because the medicine wheel in the upright is like, there are so many, and these are all apex predators. This is like, what I've got 4 different ideas. I got 4 different jobs. I got 4 different options. I got 4 different love options or whatever. Like, what do I do? This is medicine wheel. Like, there's so many things that I can do that can heal, that can manifest, that can do good things. And I'm telling you, things are gonna come in, something's gonna come in. Like, you're gonna get that big giant zucchini, and it's gonna be like, it's this one right here. Why? Because you're gonna become very clear on what the direction that you're going to have. Why are you the goat? Because you, even though you can be in this space where you're like, I don't know what's going on, like it's like, it's not even like right now you're like, I don't feel like I am anything, and it's like, you've been the goat. You've been the goat. You've been goating it up for the past 3, 4, 5 years. You know, we talk about like karmic cycle 7. Like, I can't even tell you like the karmic shit that's coming down on people right now. We can have like that Saturn return. That happens like, you know, yearly, right? The Saturn retrograde, and you kind of get the shit that you've been like sowing energetically. But like, we're talking about like the hardcore stuff. Like, this is a very, very deep karmic vortex that we are going through, or portal, or timeline, or whatever. But there are some things, there are some seeds that people have sown. There are some zucchini seeds that like the fruit didn't grow up over the ground, it grew under the ground, and it rotted, and it like stained the land, and like it's gonna have to be plowed up and aired out, and no seeds can be planted in it for like 7 years, because there's so much. And here's the thing is, people don't realize, they're like, what's wrong with you? What did I do? Or this, that, and the other. And we have no idea just like how much stuff we picked up from our parents, and like what we grew up with, and like the programming and everything like that. Right? It's like, so we have to have the self-forgiveness, but I feel like this is the beginning of a really, really big dark night. I can't speak. Dark night of the soul. 7 mercurial placements. It's kind of like 2020. It's that 2 year, because 2020 I was like, oh, and I know I was going through it, and I was like, this can't be, you know, good for people that are not comfortable with being by themselves. I had already been in like my own quarantine like 2 years before that. I was very cut the quarantine for me. I was like, this is amazing. There's no one on the roads. I think somebody said that about Capricorns. The Capricorns were like, I loved quarantine. I got so much shit done. Yeah, what makes you the goat is like, you're bringing you know when to rest. But you put the work in. You put the work. Everybody's like, ooh, maybe I should get to work right now. You're like, I already did it. Like, you have been listening, you have been guided. You didn't know you were probably putting in a lot of hard work when everybody's like, you should be like partying. It's the summertime, and like the seeds that you planted in summer are coming. It's like, yeah, I'm getting like tubers, like root, and I don't know anything about gardening. It's coming up a lot, so obviously you do. Obviously, I got people in here with the green thumb. But this wild woman, it goes back to this earth keeper. It's like this, I think that what really got you through is like back in the day when everybody was like trying to keep up with the Joneses, or before like spiritual stuff came up or whatever. Like, you were this wild ass before anybody became it, right? I'm always like, I liked IPAs like 15 years before IPAs came cool. You know, or like owls. I had this owl like before like it blew up on Etsy or whatever. Like, you know, like, I'm so cool. I was cooler before the cool kids or whatever. But like, you've been doing your own thing for a while, and I feel like that's carried you through this like really difficult time. Again, you know, going through the pandemic, and like people that are just like lived their lives completely, like never went home, and like, you know, just never spent any time with themselves or in the quiet or anything like that, or like let fear them. I was gonna say fear fool them. I wasn't gonna say that. I feel like I was gonna say something else. Anyways, obviously that needed to come out for somebody. So you were a badass before being badass was cool, and you were comfortable with it. You were like, you had your head to the sky. You were just like, I don't care if you don't think that's like a great thing for me to be doing right now. I'm perfectly fine with that. And then we have, yeah, there's this, again, we've got the journey here. It's like, while you were dancing and doing all the other stuff, now it's like, it's time to rest, bitch. It's time, like you, and look at all this color, look at this dynamic color, look at the blues and the greens and the intuition. This is a fully formed, I don't know, I'm getting sarcophagus, like this, you know, I'm getting 4 swords. I just had a reading done for the first time, by the way, by a lovely, lovely lady. And it keeps telling me, like, I need to, like, even today, I was supposed to be at work, but, like, am I at work? No, because I was told not to go, and I'm like, and they're like, you need to rest, and I'm like, well, we'll just work on the other stuff, right? But like, this is restful for me, kind of, sort of. But that being said, there's something fully formed. Again, this staff, there are things coming in, even though you feel like nothing is moving forward. Energetically inside of you, everything around you, you're surrounded by your manifestations coming in, and you are just being guided. This is where you're supposed to be. If you're resting, if you're taking care of yourself, if you're nourishing yourself, this is where you're supposed to be. This is exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Do I want to listen to this myself? No. Because, oh, we got the rainbow. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's me. That's Diego and Princess. My bad. No gunshots. They were really good during the fireworks. She did give them like doggy melatonin and stuff like that, but they were so good before they got that. We've got the rainbow here. I mean, it started getting like a little Tommy gun-ish, you know, whatever, and like, so I'm glad like she did. I wasn't like negating. So funny. I'm like, there might be some Libra Virgo traits in here. I feel like I need to like explain myself. But here, okay. Oh yeah, no. I feel like you need to explain. I feel like you need to talk through something. I feel like you maybe need to like start writing, or like get a blog or something. I feel like you need to express yourself in a way that like maybe you start like something like a low key like channel or whatever, where nobody knows even who you are or something. Like, I don't know. I'm just getting like, I feel like you need some type of creative outlet that might help you. That's just like a side note, because there was nothing here saying that. But like, what's about to happen, you're gonna be clear. Something's gonna come in. You're gonna find the big fat zucchini pumpkin patch thing. You're gonna know exactly. All of these things are kind of, they may not fade away, but there was definitely gonna be one that's just like, boom, this is where you need to go. Why? Because we've got the rainbow. This is all chakras. This is like go, go, go. This is alignment. This is like, there's nothing gonna be stopping you. Why are you the goat? Because you work like a hunter, but you think like a farmer. You plant the seeds, and when there's an opportunity in front of you, you go. If there's an opportunity maybe not in front of you, you're resting. You work with the energies. You're on round time. You're going with the momentum of the universe. And that's what's badass about you. That's why people can't put their finger on what it is. Is it your intellect? Look at all of this. Like, everybody I feel like people want to drown you out. I feel like you've got so much to say, and everything's just trying to like, be quiet, right? Because if she opens her mouth, if he opens his mouth, people are going to realize who they are. There's going to be a symphony. People are going to be wanting, right, to harmonize with this person. Yeah, I feel like you walked away from people a long time ago, but there is something here And it's not saying with the other one is like kind of the moving in silence. With this is just like you're gonna go out the gate when you get this rest, when you finish out the end of this journey here. It could be, like I say, this journey, this could be like, you know, when Mars goes forward. This could be in March, right? You know, we all work through energy differently. These readings are always timed out, you know, for me, like 7 days out. But sometimes, you know, if I start getting mired down in things and stuck in things, I'll get my readings back like a month later versus like 7 days later of things happening. So, this rainbow energy though, like this is you, like this rest period. I just keep hearing this damn reading that I got. This rest period is going to get you all aligned. And it's going to be beautiful, and I'm very excited for you. Pile number 2. Are we doing pile? We might do 4 piles. Okay. Oh, okay. We're switching up. One anchor, one end. Okay. Cool. That'll work. Don't know who made this deck. Oh my gosh, this weather is incredible. Not gonna lie. Okay, you might want to go check out pile number 1, pile number 3, because that did not come up in the second pile, and I was like, not gonna lie. That's funny. Pile number 3. Alright, pile number 3. Wanted to say pile number 2. There might be a progression going on here, which is beautiful. That's why I kind of like these gas you up kind of reads, whatever, because it can be different aspects of yourself. Again, there's a lot of people that like cannot, well, you can always slow the reading down. Alice, Love Exists, Visions. If you're really into like the love stuff, I mean, and you're a healer or like, no, you don't even have to be a healer or a light worker or anything like that, but there's just the way that she articulates things that I could never, even with, like, and I might be twice her age, maybe not, but, yeah, I just feel like particularly, spectacularly, for this pile, I think you should go check out Love, Alice, Love Exists, Visions, Love. She's got like 3 channels, a collective one, and a pick a pile, but, she's able to articulate a lot of things about love and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, with the lower world. Okay, let's go ahead and get one for the, okay, anchor, and we're gonna take the overall. Okay, Wild Woman. This came out, they're like, well, you might want to watch pile 2. Okay, and then we're gonna take the bottom here with the corn. Done, son. Okay, we're taking those, and then we're doing 5. Okay, cool. So, I want to get a little more, like, I just want to read into this Wild Woman. I will probably get a, blowing away. Wild Woman blowing away. In the future, and then it's reversed. There's something there. Oh. You've identified, okay, now I can feel it. Pile number 3. You identified as a wild woman. You could be coming from pile number 2. This might be like pile number 2, like 10 years later or something like that. Or I don't know. You've always identified yourself as this wild woman. In fact, I feel like you felt like you were the goat because you were the wild woman. Then this blows all the way over here to the future, and it goes in reverse, and it's like, you know what? I love being the wild woman, but here, like, we have, oh, spirit, oh, you can't make this up, sorry. I'm gonna put this right here, can you see it? Fox, trust your talents in changing times. Oh, I just got the chills, because we have the corn. Pile 3, I love you. The corn is this, the shit's getting ripe, but it's like, it's harvest time, and again, pile number 2 had harvest, but that was like, they had planted seeds, and this is like shooting out, this is like, but I'm getting the overripe on this. Like, it's too heavy. If you don't pick this, if you don't clear this, I feel like also I'm getting like somebody torching, when they do a burn, to burn it all down and get the ceilings or whatever, like they do like a fire clearing burn or something like that. I feel like there's something that you have been like, this is the way I am and this is how I am. I feel like you're kind of torching like this aspect of yourself. Oh, there it is. You're willing to change. Why are you the GOAT? Why are you the greatest of all time? Because you can recognize when things are overgrown, when things are oversaturated, when there's nothing left, when the field has been picked over, right? When it is oversaturated, like getting out of Lyft, driving Lyft. I did, like, when I realized there were like 20,000, like, now if you want to drive Lyft, it's a great place in Texas to do it because there's not that many, but you go to like Phoenix and it's crazy. So the reason why you're the goat is because you are willing to change in changing times. That's part of this wild woman energy. Is like, yeah, I can be wild, and I may look wild on the outside, but I feel like you're a very hard worker. I feel like you put a lot of, like, I'm getting like this, yeah, that to the grindstone, not the Rosie, the like riveter energy, but I'm getting like a very Taurian, like, I'm gonna put my shoulder here, there's a stone there, I don't care if it's uphill, it's downhill, whatever, the shit's moving. And you just go, and you do it, and you do it, and you do it, and then the universe says stop, and you're like, okay, and then you pivot. Trust your talents, Spirit Fox, in changing times. How beautiful is this? You have the, oh, and I love this with the Peacekeeper in reverse. Like, we're just going off the back of the deck. We are going to actually let go of the need to be right. Okay, this might be a, I feel like you might have been like a know-it-all. I definitely, like, it seems like pile 3 is kind of like my pile. Like, I resonate with all of them, or else I wouldn't be able to, like, speak on them. But, pile 3, it seems like in all of the reads, tends to be like my little homies. Where, like, back in the day, I didn't realize I was just trying to help people. I thought I was trying to help people. Like I have all this information. And they're like, well, why are they? I would just give them, like, advice, like unsolicited advice, right? That's the worst advice to give, is unsolicited advice. They didn't ask you for it. And I was like, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. And they're like, well, why aren't you taking it yourself? And they wouldn't say that, but they kind of did, right? I just realized I was kind of walking around, like, just not taking my own advice. And it just, I didn't realize how it made me seem. For me, I felt like I was, if I helped people, like, they would accept me. And people, like, can't accept anything that they didn't ask for, that they didn't even want, you know? And then, like, who am I to be walking around saying, like, I feel like you need my advice? Like, it was just very presumptive of me. But I didn't know that. Like, I didn't grow up, like, growing up with, like, coping skills, or, like, being around, like, normal-ass people. Like, I was, like, super sheltered, and I realized, you know, maybe I didn't have the social skills that I thought I did. I may have a lot of other skills, like intellectual skills, but that still made me, there's enough, it's great that you're book smart, right? But if you have no common damn sense, like, how are you gonna, like, or emotional EQ, how are you gonna survive in this world? Pile 3, I feel like you do a lot of introspection. I feel like you're like, I feel like you take something down, like somebody said something, or this happened, or like my marriage failed, or whatever it is. And I'm going to take it down off the shelf. I'm going to look at all sides of it, and like, what went wrong? What happened? How can I change? Yeah, I feel like you're very open, right? And with this wild woman energy, like, you have to be, yeah, I feel like it's just a very independent energy. And you know when things are rotting off the vine. Okay. Let love and let yourself be loved. So immediately that's coming in reverse in your past energy. Make plans. Okay, definitely. I'm getting so much off of these cards. Definitely might have grown up in like a very like critical, you know, parental situation, whatever. Like I feel like and it's not, I feel like you just were never given a lot of love. Like just like literally like real love, like love without strings attached, unconditional love. Like doesn't matter what you do, doesn't matter who you be, doesn't matter how you roll, doesn't matter what degree or not degree, whatever. I don't feel like you grew up where people, and if people can't love others, they weren't loved themselves, right? So it's just like that generational curse that goes down from, it's like I may have taken care of you, I may have fed you, I may have put clothes on your back, but there was no love there, which immediately, and then we've got make plans and focus here, the Shield Maiden. I feel like you felt very, you know, growing up like in adolescence, like no one was fending for you, that you had to fend for yourself. You couldn't focus. Why? Because fight, or when you're coming from a home or a background like this, right? Like people don't realize that kids are still like worried about like eating or like getting their ass beat when they go home, or like, you know, like I mean, I can't even imagine, like, I'm not trying to call, but I'm just saying like the lack of sleep I had as a child. Like formative years of sleep because of like a rageful house, like, and then nutrients, and like when you come home, like what's gonna happen, right? And like what kind of mood are they gonna be? Like, this is fight, flight, or freeze. I feel like you've been operating with a really, really run down operating system, the central nervous system, for a really long time, and people are like, oh, you're ADHD, and it's probably because you weren't loved or properly nourished or properly like cared for or loved, you know what I mean? Like there's all these factors where people are like, you're not applying yourself, and it's like, well, maybe because I was woken up in the middle of the night with my parents like screaming at each other, and like one snatching me out of my, and like running off to like a different state with me in the car. Like, I mean, yeah. I feel like there's a lot of stuff here that like there's a lot of self, and that may be the reason why Wild Woman here is like, you broke out. Like, now I'm definitely getting like that. Like, you know, I grew up in this religion that's like just very, like, call it the bubble, right? And once you get out of it, you're like, what the fuck? Is this like the rest of the world? Because you're like so sheltered, because they're trying to keep you like quiet and under wraps, right? And not expose you to the real world. Why? So like they can just, you know, abuse and do things to you that they're telling you is going to happen to you outside of the place, and they just do it under wraps, like under, you know what I mean? Just saying, I'm trying not to get too graphic here on YouTube. I want this to actually get monetized. I want people to, like, you know, but like, I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. Yeah, we have Star Ancestor. Follow the voice of your soul. I feel like you've been taught systematically taught, like, from a very young age, to not listen to what your like, oh, your family's telling you, what your feelings are telling you, or like, what are people like, what do you feel, what do you want in life, what do you like, what are you good at? And people are like, I don't know. Why? Because you were made to not, like, people are like, right? It's like this shock and awe with like children, because people saw in you, first of all, this Wild Woman, they wanted to like tamper it down, right? Put that under our shoe. Let's try and control them one way or another. But this has caused you to not follow like your intuition, which is like what may cause you to be the person that I'm saying this. Yeah, it's like a repetition. There's this repetitive cycle that you're going through. You get really, really close to like breaking through, and then you pull back because, first of all, you might be telling other people around you, and they're like, who do you think, you've never done this, you've never followed through with anything in your life before, you think you're going to do it now? And if they're not saying it, you can feel it, right? It's the, I'm like, right? Because you know what I'm talking about. Follow the voice of your soul. Something's telling you this person isn't right for me, or this relationship, or this move, or this job, or this boss, or the way this person is coming at me isn't right. And you're just like, maybe it's just me. You like gaslight yourself, right? Why? Because you've been gaslit your entire life. It's the only language you know. Right? It's all good. As long as we don't pet you with our fingertips. So, they said to get 5 cards, so we're getting this. Where are we at? I feel like this is like, oh. Wow. Okay. Just be fearless and stand strong. And then we've got great teacher. Learn from spiritual experiences. Here it is, as I get full body chills, and I just shaved my legs, so now my hair has grown like 3/4 of the length of whatever, like Snuffleupagus. Warrior, be fearless and stand strong. You're just saying like this fight or flight, this like fighting everything, it's not going to work for you. This operating out of this adrenaline based, am I safe? Am I like, and the fact that, okay, here's the thing, is the fact that you're getting this and saying like you can stop doing this with, you know, master teacher here, spiritual teacher. I mean, like, let's all know what he looks like, right, with the dove. And, you know, I'm a big fan of Jesus Christ. Organized religion, not so much, but if you study the life of this man, yeah, he's kind of a big deal. So this is saying, I feel like it's like surrender. Ding! It's like, take a moment, take a break. We will, while this plane goes by. This bird is gigantic compared to his head. I'm just saying that the bird, it's bigger than his head. That being said, I feel like this is just a message that's saying like, relax, relate, release. The universe has got you. Like, these are spiritual lessons that it may not be comfortable, but you are in the universe's hand, right? We cannot trust other people. I'm sorry. I don't care if it's your husband, your mother, your this, that, and the other. People will betray you. They will. And we shouldn't ask them to do anything, not say, we shouldn't ask anything of anybody else. Especially if we're not willing to do it ourselves. But like, we should not look to others. We need to look to whatever you believe in. That's the faith of the mustard seed, and we put our faith there. We do not put our faith in man. Again, check him out. He's a good guy. I'm gonna get the 5th card here. Woo! Shift your perception. Air Guardian, that gets picked up. I love it so much. You can't make this shit up. All right, can I navigate this? Shift your perception. What you feel like, yeah, I'm getting like tower moment. You're like, I need to stand strong. I need to be here. I need to put my staff down. I need to like show who's boss. I need to stand in my ego. I need to bring the ego. And you versus saying, no, we've got you. We've got you. Shift your perception. Things may not be as bad or as crazy or whatever as it is an overripe situation. I don't feel like they're saying like, don't believe in yourself. But there's still something to be had here. There's still something like, you can make things with overripe things. Like you may make soup versus something else. I don't know. I can't think of a proper metaphor, or I want to say anomaly. It's not really right. Actually, part of my brain. What makes you the goat? You're able to shift your perception. I feel like this has more been like an advice to you, but I feel like when we started this out, like, you have been able to pivot in the past and you can do it again. But I feel like it's like not pivot in the way like out of fear. It's not like, oh, don't run. Don't run and don't burn it down. I love that. Don't run and don't burn. Okay, we're doing 4 piles. We're doing 1 more. Okay. Oh, sure. Don't run. Don't burn it down. Shift your perception. There's something still that can be gleaned. It is coming to an end. There's an exit strategy for sure that's going on here. I just read or just listened to a reading that was talking about exit strategy. You're not wrong. Got a dear friend that says that. But it's that hangman. It's coming out of that hangman. It's like looking at something from a different way and then saying like, how do I, instead of burning it down, how do I monetize this? Or how do I optimize this? Or how do I, it's like, I'm getting this like, going back to the pumpkin. It's like getting all the vegetables, making the soup. But like, what do you do with the peels? Like you can make stock. And you make stock and you can boil it down, and stock is like this potent energy of like all of these things that you brought together. Yeah, there's something here that you can boil down, that you can get out of what you've been in, even though it's coming to a close. I don't feel like you need to like cut it out or whatever. I feel like you can do like a graceful bowing out. You don't have to be standing strong and fearless and I quit or screw you or I want a divorce. There's something here that can be, this is not wasted. There's nothing wasted. I feel like I want to get vulture spirit out here. Nothing has been wasted. Okay, why are you the goat? Because you're resourceful. Because you know that you can use those peels for stock, and then you can use those peels and you can put it in the compost heap, and then you can get this dark, rich earth that can grow these other delicious vegetables at another point in time in the future. You don't waste things. You don't waste opportunities. You may feel like you have, and you probably have in the past, but I don't feel like you have. I feel like in other people's eyes you haven't. I feel like in your own, I feel like you're very, well, you grew up, with not a lot of love, a lot of self-critical, a lot of like teachers saying, so-and-so can't do their math drills. They're going to be a terrible person, right? It's like, ignore the noise, ignore the big flying overhead aircraft that's trying to drown everything out that's going on, that's trying to tell you that what you think about yourself and everything like that. Yeah, I feel like I'm talking to a person that's like super special. Not that we're not all special, but I'm saying I feel like you got some talents when we're talking about, when we start getting into like the cooking and the gleaning and there's all of these things. You might have been like that person that's just like had a shit ton of jobs. right? And everybody's like, you can't stick with anything. And it's like, but now I'm the freaking puppet master, right? You get put into a certain situation or a certain job that like makes you like the creme de la creme. Like people, like I love the restaurant business. Like you can meet people that, no, they may not be able to have like a regular conversation with you, like out in public because they just, you know, maybe they're like been in prison or something like that, but you get them on the line, you get them cooking, you get them in the zone, you get them like grilling or sauteing or whatever, and they're like badasses, right? But they may not be able to like go out and like meet and greet and like handle customer complaints and stuff like that, right? Because that's not, Pavarotti should not try and run the 100-yard race. He should stick to singing opera. Like if we try and do the things that we are terrible at, we're only going to be mediocre at them, right? But if we do the things that we're amazing at and we expound on that, like whether it's card playing or art or whatever it is, things that people are like, you're only going to excel and be better and be able to differentiate yourself if you focus on the things that you're actually really good at. And the things that you may be really good at, it may be just taking pictures of tiny ants. There's so much, there's just so much out there. I'm like, this is the other channel though. We're getting into that, but like, I just want to give, because I feel like the person that I'm talking to, pile number 3, you are the GOAT. Everybody knows that you're the GOAT except for you. So look in the mirror every morning and go, bah. All right, we'll stop there. Pile number 4, let's get into this. One more pile, one more gulp of tea. Gulp of tea. Should I move this back a little? Like, there's so much sunshine coming in January. There's a little bit of sweat on my brow because it's so warm. Isn't that lovely? All right. Another 9 card. No, they like, yeah, I liked it too, actually. Oh, we're doing little spritz. Little spritz for you. Little spritz for me. This is so much better. Even the second one that I did, I was like, I look pitiful. It was just sad. Like, I've been tired. It's you know, it's the holidays. A lot of energy, especially in like, you know, what I do, like picking up on people that are just like, don't want to go home, right? I feel like I need to do the opposite. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, we're doing the opposite. So we're gonna get 2 cards, an anchor and the overall, and then we're gonna get 5 in the middle. But how blessed am I, right? Poppers. Poppers. Poppers and love and acceptance. Humility. Honesty. Simplicity. Oh, I'm getting, okay, pile number 4. Why are you the GOAT? You're down home. You're like, yeah. You're like porch dweller. You're like the person that people want to drink a beer with, right? There it is. Why do I want to put it down? Woo! Wait for important information. The Oracle, yeah. You're a, woo! Embrace the energy of peace. It wanted to come, oh, okay. In reverse. Grow within your current situation. Oh, I'm getting chills. They want me to get it all out. Okay. We got, okay, I'm going to show you the Oracle. Wait for important information. So you know, like, first off, out the gate, like, I don't think you make any moves. This is the light workers, the healers, the intuitives. Like, you don't make a move unless you have, like, intuitive guidance here. On the ass end of this, we have embrace the energy of peace, but it's in reverse, and they wanted me to keep in reverse. And what I think also is, like, I also feel like, oh, look at this is, okay, the word of the day is juxtaposition. Wait for important, there's this receiving, and then there's the embrace the energy of peace. I feel like what immediately off the bat, you might have Gemini in placements is, or Libra, actually, is that you can be this spiritual oracle warrior, receive the information, but warrior wanted to come in its way, because I also feel like people see this, but they have no idea that you are also willing to stand up for yourself, that you are willing to speak up, that like if you're like, I'm fine unless you bring the fuckery, and if you bring the fuckery, yeah, there will be no peace. What is that like from a Like a Mel Gibson movie, There Will Be No Peace. Or maybe it's what is it? The Last of the Mohicans? Or, no, I don't know where it's coming from. Please comment down below in the comments. There will be no peace. And then grow within your current situation. Yeah, I definitely feel like you don't back down. Hold the space with the Druid on the bottom. Wow. I'm going to take these two here. There's the masculine. Yeah, it's the masculine and the feminine. Look at this. There's this feminine high priestess, wise, intuitive, wisdom, grow within your situation. You know, like when you're in something, you're like, oh yeah, there's something off here. But you can still, you're still able, why are you the goat? Because you're still able to take something from it. Like last pile was like, you know, there are things that you glean, there's things that you picked up, but here, you actively look for it, right? You are like a highly, highly intuitive person. When you're in a situation, you're like, I may not be able to get out of it, but there's something to be taken and learned from yeah, I definitely feel that you are willing to, like, yeah, take up the space, hold the space, because we've got and it's saying hold the space, so I'm like, oh, you're like, duh, the card's in your hand. But no, it's the taking advantage of the resources and the things that are happening around you, even though, like, you know, like, maybe it's not going to work or something like that. You're like, I'm just going to, it's like ransacking or raiding, like, a place. You know, you're like, I'm just going to grab what I can get on the way out. I know there's something good here. I'm not going to really look at what's going on because I have to, like, you know, I feel like you're just very dual-minded. I feel like you're also very, like, professional. I feel like you're a person that's just, like, even though I know, like, there's something going on, like, I'm just not going to. It's holding the space for the situation. It's knowing that there are a lot of different players, that there are a lot of different moving parts. Yeah, I'm getting a mind that's got, like, I'm just seeing, like, clock gears that are like, this goes through and this goes through and this one's like smaller and then there's this spinning thing over here and you're like, okay, so this just happened, so I may have to like pivot over here, but that's going to cause this person to possibly whatever, so how do I mitigate them? And you know what I mean? Like, you just have a very like working knowledge of what's going on. And with the holding the space, I feel like you're really, I'm getting this like letting people hang themselves. Right? It's like, oh, the druid holding the space. I feel like you're like, you just like, it like kind of like the dog run here. Like, you're just like, all right, let's see how far you go with this. I don't think that you bait people and anything. Why are you the goat? You allow. There's an allowance to you. People probably feel really comfortable around you because you just allow people to be who they are without judgment. And I feel like you're very non-judgmental unless somebody brings something to you. And then you're just like, all right, now we're going to have to throw down. But let's just be sure. Let's just take a moment, at least I have, to recognize that you're the person that brought this here. Yeah, do not embrace the energy. This is not my people-pleasing group. This is my person that is my person. My people that are very comfortable with setting boundaries, knowing that the people that have issues with your boundaries are the ones that you need to set with in the first place. If somebody has an issue with your boundary, they're the person, the biggest person that you need to have a boundary with. If somebody's like, oh, well, you're too good to hang out with us now or something like that, and you're like, it's not too good, but obviously with your current actions you might not be a person that I want to expose myself to that, you know, much more, because of how you're taking it so personally that I am living my own life. You're getting personally offended by me doing me. I don't feel like I mean, you may be married or not, but I'm like, oh, the drum. I'm like, okay, we're just gonna roll these out. I never do this. Okay. I'm like, I've never just like pulled from the top like that, but I wanted to with all of it. Okay, and then the sacred, yeah. I love it so much. Un Moss. Oh, interesting. Wild Woman in reverse. Yeah, with the beauty weight and the embrace. Again, there's this professionalism to you. I just met somebody the other day. We were just bringing this up the other night about like ripping someone in a new A, but like doing it like without like cursing them out or whatever. Doing it in a way that it actually rips them one. It's not just like boastfully like beating my chest, and it's like, no, I actually have clout in a situation where, like, I mean, you want to come at me, like, I'm going to bring something back. You're not going to like it, though, because I actually have some type of authority or something like that in this particular space, right? So I don't feel like you're wild. I don't think you go angry, whatever, Karen on somebody or anything like that. But I also feel like you're, again, comfortable with confrontation or assertion, right? Like, you know, as a flight attendant, you don't want to be aggressive, but you want to be assertive, right? There are a lot of people that are a lot bigger than me. I'm in lipstick heels and mandatory, you know, all this other stuff, and people will think that they can like roll one over on me, you know, and I had to learn, but I had to learn how to do it and not get fired. You have to learn to deal with somebody that's pulling like hair out of their salad in the middle of the restaurant, like, look what happened to me, and like make them leave happy and wanting to come back and like giving you reviews. Like, how do you do that? It takes a minute. So you're very, very professional, but the beauty way, it may not be pretty. Again, you may say things, you may go about things that people are just like, that's so unbecoming of you. Why? Well, you were unbecoming in the first place. I don't feel, I'm getting just, very Libra, Taurian vibes too, with the Venusian, because there's so much beauty here, but you're like willing to ixnay the beauty of the scenario. Again, it's that non-people pleasing, like, I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you. It's a waste of my time, it's a waste of my breath. And you've already shown me that my breath doesn't need to be wasted on you. Okay, so you're a little savage. Definitely some air placements, not gonna lie. Yeah, and then we've got the drum. It's so interesting because I usually see this as like a bringing in manifestation, and I don't even feel like it's like going in the past. I feel that it's this, there's this reaching, there's this, you've known about your magic, you felt your magic for a long time. I don't feel like you were reaching for something, but there's like all of this, there's this guy that's in like this big like bird costume. It's all of these things, it's all these projections that people put on you, like you should be this, you should be a lawyer, you should be an attorney, you should be a this, you should be a nurse, you should all this other stuff. But you've always known there was something ahead of you. And then we've got the sorcerer, right? You've always known that there's a certain magic to you. I just didn't know, like, and here's the thing is I'm also getting like, you might be coming out of like kind of a dark night of the soul. You might have gone through like a really big karmic cycle, because when I get the sorcerer versus like, another character in here, like the sorcerer versus the oracle, the sorcerer can use their powers for not good. This is a person that knows that they have a power, or they know the powers of manipulation. They may have studied them, or they may have just learned them, right, from the people around them, and learn that they could use their body or their looks or their intelligence or their status or their money or whatever it is to manipulate and get and draw things to them. Right? There's this reaching. I've been able to reach for things, and then I feel like, maybe you grew up and you got into a situation where you, like, again, this is all learned behavior. Like, this is where we go into, like, self-forgiveness and everything like that, right? It's like we learn this from the people that are caretakers, and it's like, this is how you get ahead in life, is to step on necks. That's what I'm getting. Yeah, I feel like that's where there's a little bit of, like, this is my mob boss group. This is this gangster, the gangster, like, reformed spiritual gangster now. Like, you come from the sorcerer, and now you're the oracle. Right? You're the wise one, and the druid, and the connect to your emotions. But I don't feel like you were always like this. I feel like you definitely knew how to use the resources or the people, whatever around you, in order to make things happen for yourself. And it might not have worked out well for you, right? It might have felt like good, or like you got like something up on other people. Like maybe that's also like, maybe you were like grew up like small in stature or like bigger in stature. There's something about, we all have something that we're whatever, but there might be something that's like a really kind of like, maybe you grew up like in a very like poor, economically destitute and getting like family, where you're like, I now have to freaking prove something, right? And I'm going to use all of the tools in the toolbox in order to scrap my way out of this so people can like respect me. And maybe going to, many lengths. I'm also getting like, art of seduction. I'm definitely getting like somebody that has like, I love Robert Greene. It's like, it's oppositional research, but then I was like, if you get past like being triggered by somebody and like you get the information, like the 48 laws of power and like the 33 strategies of war and the law of seduction, but I'm also getting like the pickup artist type of, like, I'm definitely like, I'm getting very masculine. There's a lot of feminines that are definitely in this, but I'm picking up like a very masculine energy off of this pile. Where it's like you went out and like literally like tried to seduce or tried to manipulate or I just read this article, like maybe like faked a degree or something like that. That's coming in really strong. Like did like forgery or something. I'm not condoning any of this. I'm just saying there is somebody that has used everything. It's scrapper, it's hustler mentality, right? It's crabs in the bucket. Like, who's going to get out first, and they're going to use everything they've got. I do not judge with survival, right? Survival instincts, but you've definitely been sitting in that. And now you realize that this vision quest, I feel like this is like someone who was on the edge of narcissism that's like finally like pulled back and like went back to the empath side, went to the light side here with this vision quest. Like, I feel like the universe was like, we're gonna, you're either gonna go one way or another, the red pill or the blue pill. And I feel like you liberated yourself from this, but it might have been a really difficult time, and you might be just coming towards the end of it, because again, we're talking about like some really major karmic cycles that have been kind of going through, especially with that 2-year cycle with Mars. And if you're like a Mars dominant ruled chart or whatever, this can be a very difficult transition for you, because currently, even though this is a timeless reading, we are in a Mars retrograde in the sign of Gemini, which is like intellect and just like social, you know what I mean, like prowess and all this other stuff. If I was going to say there was like, one of the more manipulative signs, it would definitely be a Gemini. They have that mental acuity. If they wanted to use it in the wrong way, they don't call in Jekyll and Hyde for nothing. So this might be something that you're kind of going through, where like maybe you met your match. Maybe you ran into someone who was just as manipulative as you, but you know what I mean? Something like that. But there's something here. I feel like the universe had to take you down a peg or two. Not necessarily other people, but I mean, like, through other people. But I feel like you're realizing, like, doing the right thing, like, when no one's looking, being the right person, like, not manipulating people, but, like, being able to use that energy, like, in a way when people are manipulating you, you're like, I know it when I see it, because I wasn't, right? And so I like using people's manipulations towards you just back towards them. There's nothing wrong with, like, if somebody's coming at you sideways, coming back at them sideways with their own energy. And people really don't like that. Like, people get really, really angry. I'm like, why are you mad at me? Why are you gang stalking me? Why are you this, that, and the other? And you're the one that did something wrong to me, but I'm the bad person for standing up for myself, or like just or just having it happen to me, right? Like, yeah, there's this, I feel like you've had to learn a lot of humility, but I've also learned, like, again, we have this, like, this energy of peace. You're also like, you have no idea who I am and where I came from and how I grew up. And so if you're going to come at me, I'm this monk, chillin' oracle person or whatever, right? And I'm doing the right thing, and I'm being the person that I need to be, right? But like, and there's no sacrifice in that. I think that's the thing, is people are like, in order to like be a good person, like, you have to like stop, I don't know, like partying or something like that. It has nothing to do with that. It's like, how do you treat people? How do you take care of yourself and other people and people's property and stuff like that when no one is looking? It's called self-integrity. And you have this, but you also don't let people take advantage of you. Right? And you're learning that, like, doing the right thing and being and going on this vision quest, regardless of whether you're alone and you have to cut your family off or whatever it is not a sacrifice. In fact, it's a boon, right? You may not see it on the front end because you're not doing it yourself. You're not in that masculine energy, like, I'm doing it, I'm killing it, I'm eating it, I'm skinning it, I'm all this other stuff. It's like letting the universe have your back. And you're realizing that you are able to do this, but you're also, it's this balance where we're getting this masculine and feminine. Like, you are like this old soul that is just realizing that, like, you can step into your masculine, you can step into this feminine receiving energy. The universe will show up to you, for you as that masculine energy. The universe is my sugar daddy. Hello, Alice. That being said, I will not embrace this energy of peace if you bring no peace to me. It's hard line in the sand. There it is. Yeah, off to the side. Hard line in the sand. It's why are you the goat? Because you've leveled out. Because a lot of people will go through, they'll be like super, super manipulative, narcissistic, whatever, and then they become spiritual, and then they're like the monk, right? And then they're like, and nothing, whatever, and I don't do that, and I don't eat that, and I don't listen to that, and I don't this, that, and the other. And like, that's crazy, like off to the left. We need to have, it's called integration. Like, why are you the goat? Because you have integrated your dark and your shadow side. So you become Switzerland, and you're like, here I am. This is how I am. This is how I be. This is how I move in the world, right? And then, depending on how you come at me and with what energy, I'm going to match you. I have the ability to match you, right? And people don't see it coming. Why? Because they don't need to see that side of you unless they bring it on, right? It's no one's business where you've been or what you've been doing or like whatever. If you've been going through this healing process, people make very fast and quick decisions about what they think you are, just based on what you sound like, what you look like, what you know, where you come from, right? They want to make all of these assumptions, and you let them, again, holding that space, you let people hang themselves and say, okay, you want to make your whatever, let's see what you do, let's see what you roll. And I have a lot of people, they're like, oh, I didn't see that side of you, and I'm like, well, you didn't need to until you brought it out in me, you know. So why are you the goat? Pile number 4. Because I think you're the true goat. I'm telling you, pile number 4. You are, because you are the culmination of all of these energies. You're all the piles, all in one pile. Because you have control, right? We have this wild woman in reverse. You have emotional EQ of pile 1. You have the whatever of pile 2. You have all the things. This is like the Empress pile right here. That is all of the queens and the emperor, that like all of the, you have taken all of these situations and circumstances and piled them into one and said, you know, I don't need to, like, I feel like you're actually a very humble person. People may not think that of you because you walk with confidence, right? And that makes them feel, they're like, oh, they're just full of themselves or whatever. But like, I feel like you operate in humility. I feel like you're very a humble soul. People are going to project what they're going to project onto you, right? And they might project a little more than just projecting. They might do some things to you to try and provoke you, or try and scare you, or try and caution you or scare you. Threaten you, you know. And I feel like you just, there's a mental acuity to you that is learned, and it's learned from these situations, you know. And as this happens to you, and as these things happen to you, I feel like you're just like, you know what, I can learn from this, but other people can learn from me too. And I don't think like you're coming out like with your Tommy gun. But again, I feel like you've got a 22 on your hip that you're willing to pull out if somebody does come towards you. I'm getting all of these, yeah, I'm getting a lot of just, because it's from afar. I feel like a lot of people don't like roll up on you. I feel like a lot of people do things behind your back, behind the scene, because you are comfortable with confrontation, and that makes people uncomfortable. And so they, you know, if somebody, I'd rather you punch me in the face than go being weird and squirrely behind my back, right? I'd rather know who you are than have to worry about you being two-faced to me, right? Like, that's not any fun. Oh, you sweet thing. Yeah. All right, pile number 4. Mwah, much love. Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate y'all so much. I'm so much happier with this read. Can't wait to get it uploaded. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one later. If you're interested in, readings, I've got 2 more gigs, or 1 more gig. I've got the couples and tarot, I have the investigative reads. They're the long ones. They're a little more expensive. I still kept the introductory ones. I don't know how long I'm going to keep those up. Just depends on everything else that I've got going on. But that being said, if you're interested in a reading, you can go there. If you're interested in any of the decks that I am using, they are all linked down in the description below. I do receive a small amount of money if you buy through that link, which is amazing. And if you like this content, please, please, please like, share, and comment. It helps so much with the algorithm and helps these messages get out to the people that need to hear it. All right, I love you so much. From me, Daughter of Wind Tarot, happy 2023, and yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.